Chapter 31, Servicing Air Brake Systems, Day 1, Video 18, Check Valve Tests. So checking for the single checks that are in the brake system here to make sure they're operating properly. So we've got our primary and our secondary reservoirs here, and the inlet side of these tanks have got a single check valve or one-way check valve, both primary and secondary. Thought there being if we have a damage to the system where we break this line or something like that, that check valve will hold the air in the air tank and not let it escape out. Allows air in but not out through the inlet, right? So we need to test those. So testing for the proper operation of those tank check valves. With system fully charged, drain only the primary circuit tank, and you're going to watch the pressure gauge on the dash to make sure that that happens. So as that primary tank is draining, the pressure is draining down. We're watching that gauge. Also watch the secondary pressure gauge. That shouldn't drop at all. Okay, we're testing a one-way check valve, right? So moving up here, we're draining the primary, right? So that pressure is dropping down. We want to make sure the secondary air pressure does it so it holds and it does not drop. We're checking the secondary tank's single check valve. Operate the foot valve. Primary and secondary brakes should work properly. We've got a two-way check valve in here that allows air to pass through, primary or secondary air. So we're going to check that, right? Continue operating the foot valve until pressure drops to 35 to 45 psi. We're going to continue to drain the system down. The park brake button should pop out at approximately 35 to 45 psi, applying the park brakes, right? So we're checking that park brake valve doing that. We checked the secondary single air tank, or the single check valve. Start the engine back up, build system back up to system pressure, shut the engine off, drain the secondary tank, right? Primary tank pressure should not drop. We would be checking the one-way check valve in our primary tank by doing that. Primary pressure should not drop. Operate the foot valve. All brakes should operate normally. We're operating that double check valve in the opposite direction, making sure that's working. With this test here, we've checked the one-way check valves and also the two-way check valves in both directions. Make sure those are working properly.